That is
We are in fall.
This is
fall.
like deep.
Audio Jungle.
Hello, experts. Welcome back to another episode of Experts About Nothing.
Hey there, gang.
We've had quite a few amazing guests the last few episodes, and we thought today we'd keep it super light. Not super light, you know us, we can't keep anything light.
We have serious vibe. We have shit to say. Wisdom.
So today, though, we're going to try to keep it lighter than usual. Today, we're going to talk about our fall vibes and mindset.
Yes. It's a new season. I think season changes in general are always a very reflective, transitional time. And
Yes.
fall especially, Deeksha and I were just talking, is kind of an aggressive season change because you're going from bright, fun summer to like starting to get cold, dreary, especially
Dark.
in New York where it's
Yeah.
been raining every goddamn day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a different time. Like your environment changes pretty drastically, especially if you're in an environment that has, seasons. Shade to California, I guess. That is what this episode is going to be about. We're going to talk about our like mental and emotional headspace as we're going into this new season, and also kind of like our physical looks, maybe some pieces that we want in the fall, the way that we want to be seen to the world, if you will.
Present ourselves. Okay, but before we get into that, hit us with the follow on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you listen to podcasts.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we will. And I don't know, we've been having fun with making reels and stuff. And yeah, if you like it, give us some love so we know people are seeing it and enjoying it.
Yeah, and if you have suggestions, just tell us what you're gravitating towards because we're just being very experimental. It's our experimental season.
And of course, everything's at Experts About Nothing.
Period. All right. Well, we're going to kick this off with a bit of a life update because we haven't chatted with you guys, honestly. This summer has felt really busy and not at the same time. It's felt less busy than last summer, which is
Agreed.
interesting.
Yeah.
We've been a little bit more stationary in New York, which I've actually really enjoyed. And I think I've had more like slower summer weekends, which I was really craving last summer. My big summer takeaways were like, I really enjoy more intimate hangs with my friends. I've been enjoying the coffee runs, enjoying trying out to do a new activity with friends, or like just park sitting and walking around versus the big hoopla parties, which have also been really fun. But I just feel myself gravitating to a more like slower paced life.
It's giving a lot of soft girl energy.
Yeah, I was like, this is actually giving soft girl, but I think we're becoming soft girlies.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. Honestly, I feel like I just haven't partied in a long time. This summer especially, I feel like it just wasn't focused around partying, and I don't think it was as much of a let's hit the club, let's hit the town, let's get drinks every weekend. Like, I don't think it was that type of summer, which I actually really like. It was a lot more refreshing and relaxing in that regard. TBH, I feel like my fall is more crazy than my summer.
Yeah, it's felt a little more chaotic the recent months and coming months, it seems like, actually.
Which is very different because usually I feel like my life winds down, but in a really exciting and like not too aggressive way for me. It's winding up. Makes me feel like that's probably a good sign that I'm actually doing things I want to do, not doing things that I just have to do.
Yeah.
Everything is much more intentional, and I'm excited to spend the time with the people I have plans with. I don't know. I feel like I don't have too many takeaways from summer because it was pretty lax.
Yeah, it was more or less chill. I think something that I've noticed with both of us is that even when we have had periods of time that are a little bit more chaotic this summer and like we're traveling or moving around, I think we've been really prioritizing unwinding correctly, which we have not in the past. We're like actually taking the time to be like, no, we just did a lot. Time to come back and genuinely just recuperate, revive ourselves, get back into our routines, have some form of consistency. And that's been a more prevalent priority, it feels like. And I think that's why the whole summer just felt a lot more sustainable than it has in previous years.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. No edits. I completely agree.
Yeah. A lot of those lessons are really coming into fruition as we go into the fall.
Okay, but a fun update. Oh, wait, let me do a sad update first. Well, mainly, I've had so many dental issues. And, my dental pain, this is a reminder to not slack on your dental visits. Get your situation checked up. And nothing in my life has convinced me to floss. No amount of cavities. And I have had an embarrassing amount of cavities. But no amount has ever justified me starting to floss. And this time, the amount of pain I felt post a cavity filling that just didn't land 100% right was unbearable. Like, so painful. I got my fillings done on a Friday on a whim just because I went in for a cleaning. They said they had time. It was pouring outside, so I was like, whatever, let's get it done. Get these fillings, come home, numbness starts to wear off. In the middle of the meeting, I can sense a deep, deep pain starting to progress, and I am slowly losing my focus, losing my mouth senses, losing everything.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm well anymore.
Right.
And then it was a weekend full of pills, ladies.
Full of pills. I mean, just the normal over-the-counter ones.
Just to be super
Just
clear.
to be very clear. But I literally was like looking at you and I was like, bro, homie is not good. She was just giving dental pain. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but you could just look at her and be like,
because
her
my
hurts.
mouth was literally in a consistent frown.
It was in
for
a
actually
frown.
3
That's what it was.
and a half
Yeah.
days.
We got the ice roller out. We got the pills out. We got the soft foods out.
It
We
was
were like
the whole thing.
There were a lot of things on rotation.
After I experienced that, I was like, okay, well, maybe this calls for floss. I was
whip
like,
out the floss.
let's try to add a small element into the routine. Now, ladies, I am oil pulling. I am flossing. I am brushing, not on whitening setting, on regular, because I have deep sensitivity. And I am being hyper conscious of how I treat my teeth. And frankly, just doing this for the last week and a half since this horrible experience has truly changed my vibe. Recommend getting your checkup and not being lazy about your dental health, because no pain. If you've ever had dental pain, you know no pain compares. Yeah, that's the sad update, but it's fine because now I'm on the up and up and I'm going to never get a cavity again. It's my mission. Next, we're going to Paris.
Woo!
And we're missing my least favorite holiday ever, aka Halloween.
Deeksha's least favorite holiday.
I just don't like it. And I'm so excited that we're missing all of Hallows weekend.
I actually liked it when we were in college.
But
And
that's
like
different
earlier,
because it's like a whole thing in college.
it's like a whole thing. I did like it at that period of time and maybe when I was younger.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't really care. Indifference, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
And I would much rather be in Paris. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hyped because me, Priya, and Prachi have not been on an international trip since our college graduation trip. That's ridiculous. That was 5 years ago. And we booked these tickets on a whim, people. Truly had negative intention of going anywhere. And then we just saw these low-key kind of cheap tickets. And then we were like, whatever. Let's just book it.
Yeah.
And it's hype. I'm really excited. We're going for 4 nights. We're only taking 3 days off of work. And
It's a very efficient trip, honestly.
Very
'Cause
doable.
It's a Thursday to Tuesday vibe. Our intentions for this trip,
are not like any other trip.
we're not trying to be booked and busy. In fact, we're trying to be the opposite of that.
The European lifestyle.
Unbooked and very free.
Unbothered.
Yeah, like
Unbooked and unbothered.
unbooked and unbothered is the vibe going into Paris. Really, like, all I want to do is be calorically dense the whole time. I want to be eating my croissants and I want to be caffeinated as hell.
I want literally 2.5 coffees and an espresso martini every day.
Yeah, and I want many croissants. Like, I'm just gonna be
all of the
eating
pastries.
and
And
roaming
we're
the
gonna
streets.
shop. We're gonna take ridiculous pictures. And you really know we put negative effort into planning because we actually have not one thing planned out.
We have one reservation.
Oh, that's true. And Priya did that. I did not pick up anything for this trip. We are 10 days out. Nothing is booked except this one reservation and nothing is planned. We have no itinerary.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it.
We're living as the French are gonna live. the locals, aka we're not going to do anything.
It's giving
other than walk around.
Prius in Paris.
Can't wait. I'm very excited for this trip, and I'm excited to honestly get out of America. I think we've been here for too long, so time to roll. It's going to be the perfect way to kick off our fall.
That's what's going on. We have some California plans in November.
I know we're both going to California, but not together.
Separately, sad, but yeah, it's okay.
Crazy. Yeah, it'll be fine. And then
we have some fun shows that we're going to.
Yeah, and
it's
oh
crazy.
My God, I'm performing in the New York Comedy Festival.
Oh my, yes, moment of silence for Priya's big moment in the spotlight. Homie is acting in the New York Comedy Festival, and we are so excited to see our girl. Priya literally banned us from seeing any snippet of this show prior to D-Day, aka November 5th.
Right, exactly. Well, also, like, it was all sus because we were like, we can't talk about it or, like, publicize it.
Yeah.
But
they were like, even let us come to her other public shows.
I know, they were public shows, but I was like, can't come, sorry. I just banned everyone because I was like, you're going to get bored. I can't have you see the same thing a million times.
She wants to keep the mystery for us, which I can respect.
I would like to keep the mystery alive. I would also like it to be a more refined show, TBH.
But now Priya just, like, hits a show every weekend, goes and acts, comes home. Acts like nothing happened.
I know, it's part of the routine right now, which is really
wild. Did you ever think that you would just go to a sketch group and then just like perform randomly every week and just come home and be like, yeah, it was just part of my weekend? Like,
no, this was literally my dream. Before I moved to New York, probably in college, like this would be my dream. I remember like reading Bossy Pants, which is Tina Fey's book. Iconic book. It's really good.
I read that book too.
Did we have, was that another
Not
book
a book club. No, okay. I read that when I was in Ohio and depressed.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's a great book. And Tina also went to UVA, so I remember walking around UVA and being all like melancholy and being like, wow, she's so cool. Like, she like moved to New York and like became this comedian. Yeah, she's like quirky, went to the same school, and now I'm like, obviously I'm not Tina Fey, okay? But I'm like, even the fact that I get to be doing some part of this in some way is like really mind-blowing to me. It feels really weird to talk about. I don't know why I like have a weird time talking about it.
Would you say you feel more like a comedian or more like an actor?
Neither. I think that's why this feels weird, because it's so new still. You know what I mean? Like it's still just very much like a hobby and something that I feel very amateur at. But I also interact with people who are literal experienced performers. It's like this weird disconnect. I have to keep reminding myself while I'm in those spaces or like even talking about it with other people that one, I've always wanted to try this out, and like I'm getting to try it out in this literal phenomenal capacity. Like this just went way better than I ever thought it could. And two, I just genuinely really enjoy being there. And obviously this is part of a big comedy collective. It's not like I have, solo performance at New York Comedy Fest. I need to set the expectations. I'm just part of a group called Hey Girl Hey, which is a comedy collective, and it's a big group of us. We're all women of color, and I'm really just like a small part of this show, but it just feels so crazy to get to like absorb this experience and just get to live through it. So that has been a very exciting addition to the fall. I don't know, this just really solidified to me that if you have an inkling to do something, just try it.
Because if an opportunity presents itself to you, don't be afraid to just say yes until it doesn't feel right anymore.
Yeah. In a weird way, I've never felt like things have like manifested for me. I mean, maybe sometimes. Like I think when I got my job in New York, I was like, that was manifestation because I had talked about it for so long. But when I literally got approached to be part of this comedy collective, that was like one moment where I was like, did I manifest this? Because that is wild. I had thought about it for so long and always thought it was very unattainable to me. And then like literally the opportunity just presented itself. And I think this is truly such a tangent to this episode, but something we've talked about is like how you have to think about a desire that you want and detach yourself. This is something I feel like I really desired, but I fully was detached to. And I still feel that way. That's why I think I really am enjoying this so much, where I'm like, I love doing this and I have so much fun, but I'm like truly not attached to any outcome. Like I'm not like
you're just happy to be
invested.
there.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. I was like, wow. And then it just kind of unfolds in a really mysterious way.
In a mysterious positive way. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
On manifestation, another part of it is like I never even knew that this was as deep as of a desire for you, and we'd fucking talk every single day. So it's like I never even knew that it was as deep as it was for you until you started doing it and truly enjoyed it. And I feel like that's another point. Like, you don't have to manifest so outwardly every time. You don't have to scream it from the rooftops that you want something. You can just desire something and, like, keep it to yourself if you want. Like, you don't have to that degree. You can, but, like, I feel like it's not required to do that in every scenario or ever even.
No, and I think, like, also sometimes we've talked about this a bunch, but, like, when you put too much pressure on it, if I was like, I need to be the next Mindy Kaling, like, I would never try.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be Mindy Kaling. You know what I mean?
She's a different person.
So I'm like, I think if you just go into it with, I really like this, I think I could like it, be good at it, whatever, you're just, like, embracing whatever happens. And I want to make it so clear, I am not amazing at improv. I am not an actor. I am imperfectly doing this. Like, and I think that's why this is so fun to me, because it truly is, like, I feel the space, especially with the people around me who I get to work with, the venues and everything, to learn. Like, I'm not, like, there to be, like, the best. That's not a feeling that I feel like we get to embrace frequently, especially with work and school or whatever. Like, you're always like, oh, I have to be the best. I have to do my absolute best every single day, or else I'm failing in a way. And not having that mindset going into something is just really, like, a whole shift. So...
Period.
Love that. That has been a fun fall vibe. I will update you guys, post the show.
Amazing. Well, all right, now we can roll into fall, I guess.
Okay. Well, let's talk about fall. I will start off by saying I have grown to really like fall. I don't think it was my favorite season when I was a kid, because I always really loved winter, which is weird.
What?
But I loved, like, Christmas time, so I was, like, very hyped about the holidays. I loved, like, a snow day. Like, nothing would give me more adrenaline.
Of course. Yeah, no, that was the hypest.
Yeah, so I think I really liked summer and I really liked winter. And I was like, who cares about fall and spring?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, a crisp autumn day.
Hype.
Smacks.
Hype, yeah.
Like, that is actually very elite.
Immediate vibe change.
You're not sweating all the time.
Love that. That's probably my favorite part, honestly.
It's a great vibe. And I love all the pumpkin stuff. I'm about it. Like, I'm basic pumpkin queen.
I don't know. I'm not as much into the pumpkin stuff.
Yeah.
But I could mess with the PSL occasionally.
Once or twice. Yeah. A season.
Literally once or twice. Because
Yeah.
once Christmas comes, you know I'm on that sugar cookie latte.
I know.
But I can completely relate in that I used to think of fall as, like, a real sad time, because I'm like, oh, summer's, like, light, bright, fun, whatever. And then I think it's the mix of daylight savings. It's the mix of everything, which allegedly daylight savings is canceled this year. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know.
I don't know, and I don't even want to know.
I want to forget about it, so then the time just changes, and I'm like, like, whatever.
Yeah,
like I don't know what's happening, you know?
I don't know. I'm like, why is everyone making this a big deal? Anyway.
No, I'm hyped, though. I want it to be canceled. Like, that's my ideal.
Sure, like,
cancel
it,
give me
whatever.
some light. But it's gonna be dreary AF when we wake up pitch black outside at 8 a.m. and we're gonna be like, what, kids?
What's going on?
I completely agree with the sentiment that I feel better about fall now than I have in the past. Mainly because I think when you take the vacations out of it, when you're growing up as a kid, you have, like, summer vacation, you have winter vacations. That's like part of the hype. Like, there's, like, something to actually look forward to, which is a full break. But now as an adult, you have to regulate your own breaks. So it's like, it's more fluid, and the year all just becomes one, and then you have to find your own breaks within it.
Yeah.
So I feel like because of that, there's ways to make fall more exciting too. We have travel plans and, like, kind of exciting things to look forward to that, frankly, we planned impromptu too.
Yeah.
Because of that, the energy and excitement is still able to last longer than just the summer.
Yeah. It's more, like, scalable almost, because you don't have, like, a hype 3 months and then, like, sadness. And then another hype, like, you know what, or, like, month in the winter and then sadness. It's just, like, you could just take vacation whenever you want.
Yeah, I mean, food for thought. Why not have a European fall? Why are we only having European summers? Listen, everyone gonna be in Europe in the summer. Who gonna be in Europe in the fall? Just me and Priya.
We're gonna be in Europe in the fall. And the bed bugs.
Exactly.
But anyway, I also just think I'm in my grandma era. The coziness of it all has me hyped. I'm ready to be cozy. Like, I got a new blanket, and, like, this blanket has provided me, like, such deep lasting joy. Like, actually, like, every time.
It's a nice blanket.
It's
you
a
can
nice
all get it
blanket.
at Costco.
It's at Costco. This is not a bougie blanket.
Yeah.
This is from Costco. But I'm like, wow. Like, all I needed to hype me up was a blanket. Mm-hmm. I'm easy to please. Like, let me just get myself a cozy item every once in a while and I'll be hyped for like 2 months. Something about the fall just got me excited. I honestly was sick of the heat by the end of the summer. I was like, I'm done with this. As you transition into the colder weather, everything's just more melancholy. It's cold, it's getting darker quicker, all of that, and like obviously seasonal depression, like things just become slower and could potentially become sadder. And I definitely noticed that right at the turn of fall a couple weeks ago. Like I was like, whoa, my brain is adjusting and I'm feeling a type of way. As I'm trying to like figure out how to navigate that in the new season and in this transition, I'm noticing how important it is to be like really, really intentional about your self-care during the colder months. Yeah. More so than the summer, because it's not as easy as just popping outside and seeing the sun for 2 minutes and then you're like, oh, I'm good. It takes more effort. But that is something I really want to prioritize going into the fall, and I've been really trying to. So, like, waking up earlier and doing my mindful routine. I've started using the Waking Up app for meditation. And guys, it's really changing the game for me. I've tried Headspace, I've tried Calm, I've tried YouTube meditations, but I think the difference with this app, I'll give a quick marketing spiel. Every meditation is paired with a small podcast. Like, it's not even a podcast. It's like a short voice note about meditation as a whole. And like, he kind of frames the entire practice in a really different way than I've ever heard it talked about before. Like, you shouldn't be meditating just to be peaceful or to like be happy, but because it's physically really good for your brain. And it's a form of discipline. And I think like he explains the science behind the discipline and like how much that can help regulate your nervous system and like regulate your life. And the philosophy and the science behind it. It's kind of like Atomic Habits. You know, when you like learn the science behind it, you're like, oh, I shouldn't do this one bad thing because it's going to set me off. Ripple effect. You just start thinking about those things more. And I'm not saying I'm out here being perfect at it. I do not have a meditation streak, none of that. Like, but I'm just trying to be more intentional about doing it. And I think understanding the why has made that a lot easier. That's one thing. And then the other thing I've been really trying to prioritize is journaling. I've started to do morning pages, which, let me tell you, is so hard. Like, it takes an hour. It is 3 full pages. You're not supposed to think about what you're trying to journal. You just write everything that's coming to your mind.
Do that every morning?
I've been trying to for the past like 10 days.
Does it work?
I've been like pretty consistent with it.
That's good.
And I feel like it actually has like a really deep impact on your mind, especially in the morning specifically. And so like the point of this whole practice is from this lady who wrote this book called The Artist's Way, which I actually really want to read. But I've heard about morning pages a lot from like a lot of different people. And at first I would only be able to write a page and a half. And I already journal like somewhat frequently, so it's not super hard. But I was like, after a page and a half, I was like, I have nothing left to say, like kept stopping. They say that that's normal and you have to like push yourself to get over that friction, because that friction is basically like stopping you from getting deeper into your subconscious. The things that you don't want to think about are not going to come to your mind basically
immediately.
Yeah, and so you have to just keep writing. So it's fine if you're even just like, I don't know what to write about, I'm bored, or like you're just writing to like write.
Right. Yeah.
And then slowly like things start coming up and you realize what you have to get off your chest. It's like a very weird experience, because you're like blank and then something comes to your mind and you're like, oh, like this has been bothering me, and then you can write about it, and it kind of just like detoxes. It's really cool. I highly suggest trying it for like 1 or 2 days. And even within like 2 days, you're like, that feels good. I feel like we have so many energy sucks in our mind in the mornings, especially, where you're like, oh, I have this to-do list. I have like these random thoughts coming to my mind, whatever. And it's actually so draining, spending time and energy thinking about it, but not doing anything about it. And just writing it out is like an actual detox. And then you're like, I'm not thinking about this anymore. Multiple times, like after doing it, I'm like, oh, I just get that thing done that was on my mind. Because I'm like, let me just do it. It makes you more proactive. Anyway, that was a really long tangent, but
I'm going to have to try that.
You should try it. I'm enjoying it, and I feel like it's a good no-pressure way to start journaling.
There's no prompts. Yeah.
There's no, like, end goal where you're like, I have to have, like, a solution by the end of this. It's like, no. Like, just write. That's it.
At this point where I have a lot of physical routine is kind of, like, set up. And now I'm just like, I really want to work on the mental of it all. Because, like, the meditation thing just never really worked for me. It was always, like, a very forced thing.
Yeah.
And I just want to find something that, like, comes to me naturally. So, on the hunt. But, yeah. I feel like, for me, I really see fall as a halfway point. Weird, because fall falls definitely in the second half of the year. But
it's like the end of the year.
You know, once that September time hits, I do have almost a new motivation. Just because all the stress, not stress, but like all the busyness of the summer winds down, and now you have more time to focus on your personal self. Thinking more about your well-being instead of the next plan. This gives me more time to be in a routine, and I think this allows for a more clear reset, which I very much look forward to. Also, because of the weather change and stuff, I feel like that forces me to reevaluate my physical space and then my emotional space. So physically, this is the first time I did this, but I felt so good and together after doing that. I just swapped all my summer clothes to my winter clothes. If you're in New York, you know that that is a task because you don't have space for all your clothes in a year just to like sit out in front of you all the time. I almost like just forget about my winter clothes because I'm like, I'm just going to stare at the clothes I stare at every day and make it work. Even if it's not that versatile of a wardrobe, I'm just like, whatever, I just don't want to pull it out. But I took the time to fully do the swap. It's not just a swap, I did a full deep clean, understanding all my stuff. Also, when I do the swap, it kind of automatically forces me to be like, whoa, I didn't wear this in like 3 years. It's gone.
Yeah.
Like, or this is like really losing its quality. I'm done with it.
It's like a physical reminder of like things that you normally wear and what you gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Versus not.
More than ever, I'm more empowered to get rid of things now because I'm like, why would I want to stare at this when I already don't like it? You know what I mean? Whereas like some items I know I'm like hype about because I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I had this. I think you and I both had this where like we just realized our sizes are changing. And it's really empowering to get rid of clothes that you don't fit into anymore and just have clothes that you know you feel great in and that are good quality pieces. I don't know. I feel like that really cleansed me in a different way because I'm like, I never did this and I actually feel good about what I'm staring at in the morning. And I'm also wearing things I haven't worn in a long time because I forgot I had them.
Yeah.
But that immediately kind of changed my vibe and set me up. Also, we've been doing a little bit of shopping here and there, but I'm like, wait, what do I even need?
Yeah.
It also is an exercise in minimalism. Felt really good after that. I was like, okay, now I feel like I'm ready to start my fall. Also, mental reset really came from my physical because after I cleaned my space, I was like, wait, now I can actually focus on what my goals are. I think more than goal setting, it's just like, wait, what were my goals? What did I want at the beginning of the year? What's changed? What have I made progress towards? What doesn't serve me anymore? I like took a good look at my vision board again and I was like, let me see like what I still haven't really given much time. I'm 4 months out. I still have a third of the year. So I'm like, what do I want to make strides towards that I don't really feel like I've gotten to yet? I think that really helped me reset on like what's important to me, whether that's like, oh, maybe I should put a little bit more effort into this work project because I really want to finish it before the end of this year. Or maybe I really want to try a pottery class finally because I've been talking about it for 2 years now and I just never have. And it's like those kind of things. I'm like, okay, now's the time where I can just think about it and like actually be proactive about making strides towards the goals that are maybe less of a priority the rest of the year. Let me think about the goals, how they serve me now, and let me make a step or two towards them to become that person I wanted to become. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good reset exercise to see if your goals still serve you, and if they do, make small steps towards them, especially the ones that you've been putting off.
Yeah, I think the point about seeing if they still serve you is so key. Like coming in with that mindset versus
I need to get everything done.
Yeah, like I didn't accomplish all this stuff and now I have like 3 months to do everything I want. Instead of that, just being like, okay, how have I changed? Let's make this more reflective and then really understand what are the goals that do still hold true to me and like want to accomplish by the end of the year. I think that's a really great mindset to go into it. It can be like a really like overwhelming exercise if you're like, oh, I didn't do all of this, which is what I said in January when I was over ambitious and like had all these ideas for the year. But that's really cool. I definitely need to also fully detox my physical space. I feel like I started that and then I was like, I'm tired. So I stopped.
It is exhausting.
It's so exhausting. I need to, like, find a more sustainable way to do it. Because I always try to do everything in, like, 1 hour or 2 hours. And then I'm like, I can't. Like, I'm so tired.
I think you just need no plans and, like, nowhere to be for, like, a 1 or 2 days.
You
like,
need the full weekend.
Yeah, and also it's, like, you don't need to do it all in one setting. Like, you could just, like, take a break, come back, do your laundry, come back. Like, I think it, like, doesn't need to be as, like, stressful as it is. And also, it motivates you to have less stuff. I think now I look at my stuff with such a critical eye, whereas, like, before I looked at it with such a welcoming eye, which is dangerous. You know what I mean? Then it becomes easier to do those transitions and it feels more like a flow. A quick note on goal setting. I think something that needs to be clear, especially for those of us that are really hard on ourselves, especially when it comes to we say we're going to do something and we haven't seen it yet. I think it's really important to understand that a vision board is not to say the goal will be completed. It's just to get one step closer. Even if you make the smallest step forward, it is better than making a step back on a goal you really want. That is the whole point of a vision board. It's just to keep your goals in front of you so you don't get distracted by the things that you don't actually want or don't care for. And then you can reprioritize the things that you do to make sure that you have it in your subconscious and that you can work towards it. Be thinking about it and like be doing small things when you have that burst of motivation. That's like a mindset shift that has changed my way of even viewing the vision board concept, you know?
I love that. It makes it so much less daunting and toxic, honestly. Like, I feel like going in with the toxic mentality is just what burns you out. And then you do take steps back because you're like, I can't do this anymore. I have nothing to give to this. You're depleted and you have months where you don't contribute at all to something that you do want. I think it's just inspiration. That's what it's supposed to be. Like, these are the things I'm inspired by. These are the directions I would love my life to, like, take. Yeah, I completely agree with that. The one thing I wanted to mention, this is my number one goal. Oh
my God, not this coming near the end. What is
I know.
Yeah.
Literally, first of all, I said no goals, but this is my goal. I am desperately trying to reduce my screen time. Guys, we've talked about this a million times, and I need to get the hell off my phone. Like,
you that much?
I feel like I am really sucked. Okay, it's because I have spurts of time where I'm like, I can't be on my phone. And then the times when I'm just like tired or like feeling burnt out or depleted, I am aggressively on my phone.
Right.
And I feel like my screen time just spikes and I feel horrible. And then it's like this literal screen time hangover. Then I'm like, I have to delete everything off my phone. It's just like this cycle.
Yeah.
And I just need to figure out a way to be less on my phone, more present. And I think it was really hitting me. I mean, constant, like, we're just absorbing so much all the time. Like, we're like watching TV, we're on our computers, we're on our phones. And I'm like, when was the last time I just had my own thought? Even when I'm walking outside, I always have my headphones in or I'm like listening to a podcast, something. And I'm like, sometimes I just need to walk with nothing. Had this revelation where I was like, I am a robot and I need to just like deprogram myself a little bit. Of course, I love content, love film, love TV, love all of these things. That's why I think I'm so addicted to it. It's not even like I'm in like a toxic doom scrolling anymore. I'm just like cracking up. I'm seeing like amazing videos. I'm like watching amazing content. My algo right now is like iconic. I'm like, I love everything I'm seeing. I'm constantly sending shit to people. That you don't be responding to.
Yeah,
but anyway.
Hey, maybe that's a positive trait because I'm
then I'm gonna be like, Diksha just ghosted me for 10 messages. Let me just get off my phone, I guess, because I'm getting no response. And I'm sending her straight fire. Okay, literally it's hit after hit and I'm getting nothing in response. Anyway, did that this weekend. I deleted Instagram for the whole weekend. I was like, okay, let me just be off. I'm not posting shit. I'm not seeing shit. And I genuinely just felt so good. And I feel like Sundays are my day that I'm like the most emotionally
most likely to go down a
spiral day. I just was able to not fully go down a spiral almost because I wasn't on Instagram. I wasn't seeing other people's shit, like just was like fully detached from it. I re-downloaded it today because I wanted to post some exports content and then like scrolled through a little bit and then I was like, okay, I'm good. It's almost easier to just let go of it once you haven't had it for a while in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to be way more intentional about that because I genuinely think it like makes a drastic difference to my mood.
No, I agree. I think screen time and stuff, like I used to be really paranoid about my screen time. Be like, oh my God, it's 10 hours. I don't even work for 10 hours in a day. Like,
I know.
How how am I on my phone for 10 hours? And I used to like judge my own self really hard for that. But I think I do better with screen time when I'm literally not thinking about it because I'm like so preoccupied with other things. I also think I attribute my bed to TikTok time, which is really horrible. Alone time with your phone almost.
Yeah.
And it's never just like alone time, which that's a different problem in itself. But when I'm in my room, I naturally just want my phone. So if I'm working from home in my room, I am automatically on my phone. That is probably the main reason. I'm trying to understand like when I'm on my phone. If I go to work immediately, just from the social anxiety, I'm not trying to be on my phone while my manager is staring at me. You know what I mean? Not a good look. But also me just stepping out of the house gets me off my phone in the negative ways. You know, like I don't really care about listening to podcasts and stuff because I'm like, yeah, I'm learning something. I'm learning something about someone else, the world, myself. I'm evaluating. So I'm like, okay, not bad time spent.
No, I think it's productive time spent.
Exactly. I think it's more about understanding when I am on my phone and like what scenarios. And for me, it's the longer I'm in bed, the longer I'm on my phone. Or the longer I'm in my bedroom. If I just take myself out of my bedroom, even if that means working in the living room for a little bit or like going to the gym, going on a walk, I'm like not consuming the bad content. The content that I feel like doesn't serve me. And like honestly, I feel the worst when I start to go stalk random people and I'm like, oh my God, they're doing this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, like if I could just reduce that, I don't really care about my content consumption. For me, my whole mission is to target the content I don't want to see.
To watch,
Yeah, and like reduce my amount of time that I spend caring about that content. And like sometimes it's fun to like catch up on all the gossip and all the tea that you haven't seen for a while.
It's a slippery slope. Even when we're together and like we're on Instagram, it's like fun because it's like, oh, we're like showing each other something or like whatever.
But there's also conversation.
It's conversation.
Mixed into it.
We're just like gabbing. I think it's more when you are solo. I listened to this podcast, Tim Ferriss classic. It's like the Arthur C. Brooks episode, which is actually really good. It's super long. It's taken me like 3 listens to get through it all. But he talks about anything where you're having like intense amounts of dopamine and like pleasure alone is not ultimately good for you. So like when you're in like a community, we're looking at social media together and like having a conversation, then like the joy that you're getting from that is like good and productive and healthy.
Yeah.
But if you're just like doom scrolling or like, you know, spending a lot of time on your phone and you're getting that same type of reaction, it's destructive.
Yeah.
Because you're not actually like connecting with anyone over it.
Yeah.
So like technology makes this really hard because you're not making like a sustainable connection with anyone during those processes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's really unique because all of our phone time is usually alone.
Yeah, whereas like I never feel like our time eating dinner, like making dinner, anything is, first of all, I never think it's boring. I think it's sometimes the best part of my day.
Yeah.
I also feel like I'm like getting something different out of my day than like me being alone. Like I never feel like that's ever a waste of time because I'm like, I feel great after laughing with my friends for 2 hours. And I'm like, that's the stuff I'm going to remember, you know? Like I'm not going to remember these TikToks like 12 months from now. Maybe,
yeah, because that's a memory, which is giving you like lasting joy. Yeah, I need to shuffle that around and like think about my alone time as rest. I think I have to separate rest from like rotting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like rotting's like being in your bed watching Netflix for 5 hours or like scrolling on your phone for 5 hours, and that's not really rest, even though you might think it's rest because you're like in your bed, but it's not. But actually
your mind
restful.
is like running. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just want to be able to like productively rest versus go down these spirals.
And a period. Okay, also, we wanted to quickly touch on fall fashion because it's just, we can't not talk about it. It's just
the best
too hype.
Fashion almost.
It really is.
It's
like
the best.
I've heard that from actually a million people, a million influencers, a million podcasts. Everyone is raving about how fall fashion is it. And frankly, it is. Let's be honest. We don't have to expose a lot of skin. We can wear sweaters and the same jeans.
Boots.
Literally on repeat, and we still look snatched every single day. So you don't have to think in the fall. It's just like,
you can always look good.
Exactly. Also, I feel like in the fall, things that are less important in the summer like make such a big statement, like bags, coats, outerwear, accessories. I think that is more of a pop in the fall.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like you can experiment a lot with texture and it just makes your outfits look so snatched. The whole thing about wearing versus styling your clothes, I'm really getting into, and I'm like, you know what? That's what my focus is going to be this fall, because I'm like, I don't think I need more items of clothing. I think I need more things to tie them up and make them feel exciting, along with, you know, fitting pants. That's a problem that all of us are experiencing, it seems.
I know. It was a summer of being thick, but slay to us. And I 100% agree. This is going to be my season of learning how to accessorize, which I've never learned how to do effectively. And I've been way more into jewelry than I've ever been in the past. I used to think I was like just not a jewelry person, but I've been really feeling like they like elevate my fits and make them more fun. So I'm going to focus on that. And color, which is always my vibe, but I'm trying to figure out my balance of color, so that's another fall fit vibe. I don't want my fall vibe to just be like wearing blacks all the time, which is what sometimes I do that because I'm like, oh, black sweater, black jeans, it's easy. Here's my thing about color. I love color, and when I can style it correctly, I feel like the most snatched person on the planet. Like when it works, I feel great. But sometimes I feel like I'm trying to make it work and it's not working, and then I'm like feeling real bad.
Not her feeling opposite of her desired feeling.
It's just a full flip. And then I'm like, wow, I look like a clown. And I don't know. Why am I wearing this bright color? A couple of times of me feeling like a clown, I'm like, all right, let's stick to the neutrals. Let's not get to this clowny feeling. But I think I just need to spend a little bit more time figuring out how to style my clothes. Because again, I'd like to reiterate, when it hits, it hits. That's it. That was my color tangent. That's my goal for the fall.
Right.
Also, it's the season of me learning to wear my boots more. Well, I do wear my boots a good amount, but I'm a sneaker girl. I just feel most comfortable in sneakers.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does. Boots are a whole
It's like
thing,
a put together
you know?
thing. But then I was wearing my boots this past weekend, and I was like, wow.
They do immediately make you feel more leveled up.
And I'm like, why can't I feel like this a little bit more? You know what I mean?
I know. That's another reason why swapping the wardrobe is so nice, is because you see more outfits that you can incorporate your accessories into.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you're like, oh, I'm just going to wear the same shirt, the same pant, the same sneaker that I've been wearing all summer.
And summer's also just like, you're just hot all the time. You're like, all right, tank top and jeans, tank top and short. Like, you're bored. Fall, there's all these layers. You can wear a jacket.
You can wear a dress. You can do a lot. You can wear a lot of different types of clothes in the fall and still make it work. Also, my new vibe is not outwardly brand focused. It's more look and feel focused.
Yeah.
And I just am really excited about the entire concept generally and like the movement towards it, how clean and put together it looks with such minimal thought. My entire mission is making my wardrobe as thoughtless as possible. To me, putting together an outfit is not so exciting. I think for me, it's just like, I want to feel great. I just need like mindless, mix and match and put it on and go. It's fun to accessorize and stuff, but I just don't like putting excessive amounts of thought. So I'm trying to like lean towards that, even if it's not some crazy brand name, to just be like, think quality, not brand. The reason why this has come up 2.5 years ago, I purchased Everlane boots.
Right.
They did not fit me. Right. I am an 8.5. These ran small, okay? And I actually destroyed the back of my ankles 2 winters straight trying to attempt to wear these boots.
Okay.
But I'm like, why am I in such deep pain wearing these shoes? Why? Meanwhile, that exact same year, purchased a pair of $50 Zara boots that still look so good. Literally, I wear them all the time. I've broken them in. There was little to no break-in time as well. And I look forward to wearing those shoes every year.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I look at the Everlane shoes and I literally want to die. So I think I'm just going to lean less towards like gravitating towards a specific brand and be more open to experimenting, but be also more strict with myself on returning things that I know won't serve me.
Yes, that's a major key, and Deeksha's also been making sure that I do that.
Yeah, I do it with clothes. I need to have a more rigid eye when it comes to accessories, shoes, which are more annoying to return than clothes, but still, it's like,
we gotta return it.
It's
also, it's like, it's an energy. It's stuck again when you look at it and you're like, I haven't worn this, and I spent money on it, so I have to try to wear it.
Yeah, every time I look at it, I'm like, I spent $150 on these.
Yeah.
And now I'm aggressively looking for people that would maybe want them because I wore them twice only.
Right.
True 7.5.
Let me know. 7.5. Okay, that's our fall vibe. Clearly lots of vibes.
I liked the variety in this pod, so I hope you guys enjoyed that too.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed our convo, and happy fall.
See ya next time. And also, remember, fall is a cute one in disguise. Utilize it to your benefit.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Bye.